This video features the music of my friends and effects used with permission. And regarding the last video, thank you all you guys for your support. I really do appreciate it. But let's move on to this video.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
A nice road to feel. I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal?
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
I'm not going to talk about the last video I made. You know what's going on if you watched it. And here I am. I'm just going to walk in there and run a 10-pack, put it on film, and then we'll analyze it and rip it all down, try to learn something. I feel good. Even got my lucky shirt on. It's one size too small. Not really, it's just that I wear one size too large for me. So I'm not used to actual shirts that fit, you know. Want some Baconator fries from Wendy's? This is my go-to meal when I, when I don't want to spend an hour to eat. There's some old ancient trait left over from the humans of, many, many moons ago. When we get nervous, when we sense fear, we subconsciously hold our breath. It's kind of it's a mystery. It's the same reaction you would have if you're about to fall into a lake, you know. You gotta hold your breath because you're going underwater for a while there. And this is what we do when we get nervous, when we get around nerves. Instinctively. And the biggest problem with that is when we hold our breath, we're denying our brain the oxygen it needs to think straight. And this is why people do crazy things when they're nervous. If you take an example of pool, they start jumping up, they start slamming balls, they start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's because they're not thinking straight. You sense fear. It's that instinct of fight or flight, or hold your breath. So when you're in a match and you get real nervous and you're not real sure if you can do something right, or you're worried about doing something wrong, and you'll have to remind yourself to breathe. That's number one. And then not only breathe, but breathe really deep, before you get down on the shot. And while you're down on the shot, too. So when your brain's not working right, this is where you get the poke, stroke, or jumping up, or twisting your wrist, or whatever. Your brain is not operating the way it's supposed to operate. So it all comes down to self-talk and what you're saying inside your brain. So you have to replace that, oh no, what if I miss, with thoughts like, I've made this a million times, this is no big deal. Or, there's no difference between playing effort and playing, some local bar banger. There really isn't. I mean, they're sitting in their chair, they're supposed to be, while you're shooting. And it doesn't matter if it's effort or, some drunk at the bar. It doesn't matter. It's on you, it's not on them. You don't control a whole lot in the world. In fact, you really don't have much control of anything. But you do have complete control over your body and your brain. That's it. Once you lose control of either one, you're hitting a form of insanity, And so you have to do everything in your power to keep control over those two things, your brain and your body. Just take a minute, stand back up, take a, walk around the table, remind yourself to breathe. Remind yourself it's a pool game, it's not life or death. And we tend to think that everyone cares, what we're doing, and they don't. Everybody cares what they're doing themselves. They really couldn't care less. They might be watching you because they got nothing else to do. But, that's more of a reason to play good. See, you're the player, What are they doing? Standing there watching? So it's safe to say that the best players in the world have to be mentally tough. They have to be in complete control of themselves. Right? And being pool is such a hard game to master, and no one ever really masters it. They developed. If you ever meet a pro player, hang out with him, and make friends with him, buy him something, and you'll find out after spending some time with him how incredibly mentally tough they are. And these people are mentally tough, man, like you wouldn't believe. They might not be rich. They might not be physically strong. But they're tough, man. They're incredibly mentally tough, and you'll see that if you get close enough to them. Anyway, enough yakking. I'm gonna go in here and run a 30-pack. Could happen. It could happen. If I ran a 30-pack, I'd be mad that I didn't run a 40-pack. Here's a layout for the first game, and it's important to go at the game thinking you can do it and knowing you can do it. Confidence is everything with pool. So let's just take a rough, sloppy look at the first half of the table, because getting started in 9-ball is most of the battle. As you go through a 9-ball rack, it'll get easier for you. And that's the opposite with 8-ball. Getting started with 8-ball is the easy part. Finishing an 8-ball rack, it gets tougher and tougher as the 8-ball rack goes, because you're forced to be more precise. So let's just ask a couple of quick questions. Can you shoot this 1-ball and get in this circle on the 2-ball? And can you get from that circle on the 2-ball to this circle on the 3-ball? Can you get from the 3-ball to the 4-ball? Can you get from the 4-ball to the 5-ball? And you should be telling yourself, yeah, you got this, no problem. And we're going to refine these thoughts as we go through this. So for right now, we're just taking a rough look, because it's so imperative to start the game knowing you can win this game. And let's go on to the second half. And can you get from the 5-ball circle to the 6-ball circle? Can you get from the 6 to the 7? Can you get from the 7 to the 8? Can you get from the 8 to the 9? And at this point, you should be absolutely dead certain that you got this game, and this is the mental frame that you need to go at the game. It's all about you and what's going on in your head. Don't start the game all wishy-washy and, well, I don't know, what if I screw up? You cannot afford to think like that anymore. And here's the whole picture. And as you can see, it's complicated and confusing and cluttered. So we're going to save that for another video. Let's move on and get a little bit more defined. Right now, your mindset should be, I can do this. My confidence is high. Let's go. But before we get started, let's take a closer look at the straight-in lines on the first 5 balls. And here's where it gets a little bit fragile if you haven't worked on the mental aspect of your pool game. One bad position can really get your confidence destroyed, have you throwing in the towel, have you beaten yourself up, calling yourself every name in the book. And if this is you, this is what you have to work on. More and more in my videos, we're going over the mental aspect of the game, and you really have to be a tough human being to be a great pool player. You have to be really mentally tough, but you have to know the lines that you're crossing when you start beating yourself up and destroying your own confidence. It's not the end of the world if you get bad position. There's always other options, and you're just going to have to step back, quit beating yourself up, and let's find another option. Perhaps play a safe, or perhaps play a two-way shot where you're safe if you miss and you're fine if you make the ball. And that's just one example. You can go 2 rails instead of just 1 rail, or 3 rails instead of just 1 rail. There's always other options, so stop knocking yourself down before you even get started here. If we look at the 2-ball line, it would be nice to get right on it, because the plan is when we shoot the 3, we're going to go to the top rail with some right-hand English to kill the angle off the top rail and get in line for the 4-ball. But the 8-ball has me a little bit gun-shy here. I don't want to draw too far back, and I wind up getting bad. I wind up getting here on the 2-ball, so I have to go down to the bottom rail and get back on the 3-ball. The issue is you're going to have to train your mind not to beat yourself up when you do something stupid like this. Because the minute you start doing that is the minute that your whole brain says, you know what, you're a loser, and you're going to miss this ball, and you're going to get bad position, and everything's going to go to hell. You have to stop doing that. And so I have to practice what I preach here and just, gather my brain back up and do what I can on the 2 to get to the 3, and I get there. But I'm at a steeper angle on the 3 than I want it to be if I just stopped this cue ball on the 2 and been right there on the 3. So I have to put a ton of right-hand English on it, which really kills the momentum of the cue ball off the top rail, so I wind up with a longer shot on the 4 than I want to be. But again, it's not time to beat yourself up. It's time to regroup and get on this 5-ball, which I do just fine. Let's go ahead. I'm still at the table. My opponent is still sitting in his chair. Let's move on to the second half of the game. You have to stay on the right-hand side of this 5-ball. That's the only iffy part on that 4-ball shot. If we come up on the left-hand side of the 5-ball, we're going to play hell getting on the 6-ball. So just make sure you end up on the right-hand side of this 5-ball. We can either go to the right-hand side rail here to get right on the 6, or we could just stun it over. I decided to stun it over, and I went a little bit too long, and I got a little bit too far on the right-hand side of the 6-ball, but it's not that bad, and I can just roll up. The problem with that is it leaves me at an angle with that I'm not comfortable with to get straight in on this 8-ball. So instead of playing the 8-ball up here in the corner, I decided to go all the way back up table to get right on the 8 and just roll down table for the 9-ball. And the issue with that is I come up short, but it's no big deal. It's just a 3-rail shot. The only thing you have to be careful with here is scratching in this corner right here after going 3 rails and trying to get on the 9-ball. So it's much better to come up short on the 9-ball than to go too long. And that's about it. Let's move on to the second game. And here's what we have. The 4-ball went on the break, so the first question would be, can you get from the 1 to right around the area you need to be on the 2? Can you get from the 2-ball circle to the 3-ball circle? Can you get from the 3-ball to the 5-ball? And these are all confidence booster questions, which I know you can do this, so let's proceed to the second half. Can you get from the 5 to the 6? Can you get from the 6 to the 7? Can you get from the 7 to the 8? And can you get from the 8 to the 9? Not a problem, is it? This is all yours. You got this game. But before we get started, let's refine it just a little bit before we shoot the 1-ball. And for now, this just looks too cluttered, and that's why we're ripping it down into sections and 2 parts. But it's important to know that if you keep practicing and keep thinking like this, you'll eventually glance at this whole table and see this clearly. So let's look at the lines and see what we need to get. And you want to be on the left-hand side of the 2, and left-hand side would be as if you're standing right in back of the shot looking straight down the straight-in line. You want to be on the left-hand side of that straight-in line, so you can use the left-hand side rail to bounce off of and get as straight as you can on the 3. You don't want to get on the right-hand side of this 3-ball, because when you shoot the 3 from the right-hand side, you're moving away from that 5-ball. And it's going to be difficult to get on the 5-ball, and you're going to have to change it to shooting the 5 in this corner down here, and now you're just complicating everything. If you do that, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. You can still, come up with another plan like we talked about before. And also, if you do that, and if you're just practicing, you're not playing a match, stop right there and reshoot the 2-ball and work harder on getting either a little tiny bit on the left-hand side of the 3 or as straight in on the 3 as you can get. Because the whole agenda is to get as straight as you can on the 5-ball so you can just roll up and get right on the 6. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. And let's go ahead and take a look at the lines on the second half of the game. And the 5-ball is actually a touchy shot. It's an easy shot, but you want to roll up because you need the right angle on the 6 to get to the 7, but you don't want to roll up too much. You don't want to get straight in on the 7. You still need an angle to use that left-hand side rail to get right on the 8. Now, it would pay to get not exactly straight in, just a hair to the left-hand side of the 8, because we want to use that right-hand side rail to bounce off of and get right on the 9. You'll see it goes a little wonky here, and it's just part of the game. You keep on smiling.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. 'Cause I can't move on till I let go.
The pain makes it real. I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and meal. I'm just lost, I feel, I'm just lost, I feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel. Cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal?
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. 'Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. 'Cause I can't move on till I let go.